All right, so let me just start off by saying that I am not a financial advisor. I am not a professional trader. I do this on my own, taught myself. Never gone to school for any type of trading or anything like that. Everybody watching this and taking anything from this is responsible for their own trading and their own due diligence. I will be going over in this video how I trade, and again, you guys can take pieces, but in the end, you are responsible for your trading, your wins, your losses, and everything in between. All right, so what I've done here is I have written a script, pulled a lot of pieces from Ramon Pellensack's scripts, and pieced a bunch of stuff together to give me an opening range strategy. I used the 5-minute chart and the 1-minute chart. Um, let's go over how I do this. So in the background, when you look in the code, it is taking into account a lot of stuff in the background. So here's your targets. This is basically how it's finding your targets. I actually kind of did all this on accident. I just wanted to see what a 1-to-1 and 1-to-2 risk reward would be based off of the opening 5 minutes. So each line, so this is your opening range in yellow. Each line is just your opening range. The same distance here is here and here. So this would be, if your entry is this is a 2-to-1 because your stop goes at the low. So you're 1, 2 to 1. This is a 1-to-1. And then there's another target you can choose that's about midway here that is 0.5 to 1. Or 1 to 1.5. That's the targets. That's how we're finding where to take profit. Let's look at some other stuff. So it is also taking into account strat setups. So here's all your strat setups: daily, 30, 60 daily continuity, and then we have weekly that it also takes into account for some things. That some things is here. You'll get a buy or a sell signal based on a cross above or a cross below your opening range high or low. So your cross above, if you have FTC on the 30, 60, and daily, and a reversal long or a reversal short, you will get a long or short signal if all of this is true. You'll also get a long or short signal if you have a cross above or below, you have continuity from the weekly down, and you have a continuation long or a continuation short. All right? So that's that. Here's your sells. So these are your targets. You'll get your sell order when you price reaches whichever target you've chosen. You will get a sell to close at the end of the day, and you will get a sell to close or buy to close, I guess, if your stop is reached. Now this is your long exit and your short exit, and that will be if you're long and the low crosses below the opening range low, if you're short and the high crosses above the opening range high. So that's basically just what I was explaining here. If you enter here, your stop goes here. If you enter here, your stop goes here. All right, now I did a settings video, but we can just run through these quick. Here you can choose which opening range you'd like. You can make this 15, 30, 45, an hour, however you like to use opening range. I personally use the 5, and that's where I've done most of my back testing and checking on this strategy. And I will share that on SPY right now, as the past 180 trading days sit, SPY is 75% accurate on the 5-minute chart, trading only the first signal of every day. So only the first signal of every day, the past 180 days, has been a 75% success rate, which is pretty good, especially if you're trading options, and that's using targets 3 and 4. But we'll put those on for now. Here you can pick if you just like trading double insides or 2-1-2s or 2-1-2-2s, 3-1-2s. Here's where you choose which strat setups it's looking for on the reversals. You can change all the colors down here of everything if you want, and that's pretty much that. Now, how do I trade it? So I will wait for my signal. So as price is coming above and below this opening range, the signal will show up and disappear, and it'll show up and it'll disappear. Once this bar closes, you get your signal permanently on the chart. That's when I look at my 1-minute chart. From there, I'll look for a reversal on the 1-minute chart. Now, this is the bar that gave us a signal, right? 940. So 940, you can see these overlays show me the 5-minute bar, and that's just for time reference, nothing to do with the strategy. But we get this close here, and it never comes back. Now, ideally, when I'm trading, I want to get my close. I want it to pull back down so that I can get an entry here, just below, just above the middle. I don't want to be getting my initial entry down here because that's starting to reverse. If I were to get a long signal and it were to come all the way down here, I'd wait to get another reversal, pull up, pull back, and then get in. Anyway, yes, so you don't want to take a reversal that's down here. You just want to wait for it to get back up here, give you another triangle the out or just above, and then get in. And the reason for that is down here, it could be reversing, and you don't want to enter up here because, you're almost halfway to your first target, unless your target's up here, but you're still well above your signal level, which is the opening range high, and here's your stop. So you're increasing your risk by entering further above the opening range high if you're going to continue using this. That's how I play it. I enter around here and I stop out around here. All right, I won't stop out before, I'll stop out below. And we can see a couple examples of why I stick with that. So that's that day. Let's see here. So here's a pretty good one, it looks like. Yeah, so, and this one reached target. So, it was pretty quick. We got our inside bar. We got this signal bar next, and it didn't really ever come back. That would be a tricky one to get in on. You could play this pullback, but generally, if it's quick like this, I will just kind of sit and watch for the rest of the day. I do trade the 30-60s as well, so I'll just stop focusing on the 5-minute and zoom back out to the 30-60s and trade those for the rest of that day. Here we have one that gets stopped out, and so here's our signal bar, right? 935. So we get our close here above. We don't ever get that triangle they out here or anywhere. So you get your signal, and this is why I don't enter just right on the break. You get your signal, and then it drops. And then you get a short signal when this bar closes inside or below, and it just kind of dropped. And this is another one of those days where you zoom out, and you're not going to get everything every day, but it's a way to keep you out of the mess of things in the mornings. And if you can get in on something and it makes sense and it's following this strategy, then you can be done in the morning and that's it. You close up shop. We like to be in and out. So here we go. We can go over this day. Okay. Here's your short signal. Don't get a short, because you get your short signal here, pulls back. Now, actually, this I may have entered short, but once you get this reversal back up, you get out, because it's obviously not coming back down. I also will say, I focus on VWAP and the 9 SMA, and we were above them fairly well on both charts. When you get that triangle they out here off the opening range high, so it's not super ideal, but it is an actionable trade, and you got a little bit of a broadening here that it very well could have dropped that day, but the market was obviously strong. Then you get your long signal. It is the second signal of the day, but it was within 10 minutes of your first signal. So this is the chop shop in here. And if you want to follow the SMA and the VWAP, that'll keep you out of that short position until maybe it comes back and breaks all the way through, and you can get in on a break of the opening range low. There's a lot of ways that you can figure this out and morph it to how you trade or want to trade. So if you get your long signal, that's on this bar. So this minute bar closes above. This 5-minute bar gives you your signal long. You get a 1, 2, 2 down, 2 up. So here's your entry for this right there. There's your entry. It kind of bounces around a little bit. You get no higher highs right there. And then you can add right there when you get that one. And whether or not you want to add and take your profits here, or once you get a reversal on the 5-minute, again, it's very, very customizable. I trade it one way, but opening range is very, very commonly used strategy. A lot of people trade it a lot of different ways. All right, here we have, let's find out another good one. All right, that's not really even a good one. Okay, here we go. Let's check this one out. So a lot of these are quick too. It's not something that every single day you're gonna get an opportunity to trade, but there are these days that you get these. This is what I love to see right here. Love to see that break, consolidation, and then re-break. So you get your break. This is your close. You get no higher highs in that consolidation, and then bam, right at opening range high, and you don't have to take profits until here. So that's a pretty hefty move on SPY. 53 cents. That would be some nice contract movement. And again, you can close a position once you get a close below VWAP. You can close it here. You can close it. A lot of ways to morph this to you. Here's another good one. So we got our signal. What day is this? 21st, 22nd. I pass it. All right. So your signal bar is here. So this is our signal bar. Right in here, you get your close above. You get your consolidation all in here. And this is an entry spot. So right there, that's one entry. You know, you're fairly close to that opening range level. And here is an add spot for you. So if you entered your initial position here, you held through this, it comes back up, and there's your add. And then look at this. No lower lows on the 5 until there. So, I mean, this jump right here probably would have been some nice percentage to take advantage of. Maybe start scaling out once you get a move like that above, and then exit on the 5-minute reversal back below. I'm still working on holding. It is very hard mentally, believe me, I know that. Let's see. Here's another good one. All right. So here is your signal bar right here. That one. And once you get your signal, we wait for that. So here is a reversal, but you're halfway to your target almost. So that is not your ideal position. If that's the only pullback you get, then this is not, the strategy to trade this morning. And that's just how it is sometimes. So we get this big drop. And then this right here is a valid entry. It does drop from there, but when I enter a trade, I'm accepting this is my risk. I size accordingly, and I will hold until I get to the opening range low. Too many times I've seen, a dip right back there only to come up and reach profits. Actually, yesterday was like that, and I did not follow my rule. So there's an entry. There's your initial entry. Down here, it can be a little sketchy to enter again. So, maybe you get some more contracts or another contract when you re-break this, and then it's a little choppy this day, but it holds true, and it comes up and taps the target and comes right on back down. So that's why I sell at target. Just like Sarah always says, sell at target, take your money and run. It's the best way to do it, depending on what your target is. And, like I said, 75% success rate the last 180 days. The next 180 days could be completely different, but that's only taking the first signal. As you can see, though, there are profitable signals later on in the day that you can take advantage of. And these are also, remember, taking into account the 30, 60, and daily to give you that signal. So if you're getting a signal, you have time frame continuity. You don't have to think about it. And Thinkorswim is a little, I don't know what's up with it, but sometimes it doesn't register. Like this short signal reached target, so I'm not sure why it doesn't say that, but for some reason it doesn't. It's not the best backtesting software, as it's a trading software. Let's see. Here's one. So you get your long signal, second bar of the day. This is a little high just because the opening range was so tight. Your risk is much bigger entering here than, say, down in here. Even this one, I mean, they're almost the same. So you just got to start being able to feel it out. And if you do choose to use this system, you will get more familiar with it. But something like this would be a good entry. You're below the 9, but the strat is it is price action, so you don't have to necessarily consider the 9 or the VWAP. I just like having it up there. So in here, there's a lot of entry spots, and once you enter, you just have to accept this is your risk. If it reaches there, you cut it. If it doesn't, there's no reason to cut it. Let's see. Oh, here's one that didn't work. So I'll also add that when you get these large opening ranges, like this is a huge move on SPY. I mean, this is $1 plus move on SPY, which SPY could move all day, most days. So that's not necessarily a good thing. I've noticed when you're trading SPY, this right here is an actual strat signal, incredibly profitable, I'm sure, on options, but it's just chopping. So you got to be in and out real quick. You got to be really on top of what you're doing to trade something like that. Here we have another pretty good one. And I do keep skipping to what I'm calling good ones, but I won't trade. Why trade a bad one? So if it doesn't look like something that I like, then I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna trade it. It's not a gambling game for me. It's something that I take seriously, and I want to trade the best looking setups that I can possibly find. So here we have your long signal, and then you have, this is fairly high above the opening range high. This is also pretty high, and then you get your triangle layout, your entry right here, just above opening range high. Maybe you start adding on these if you want until you get to your target. That's also totally up to you and how you trade. Maybe you also want to use the long signal and wait for a 5-minute, and that's how you choose you want to trade this. But it's like I keep saying, it's very adjustable to each person. I do see this a lot. I see it reach target, come down and test the opening range high, and I mean excuse me. You can see, I mean, fairly well this strategy. The retracements of the opening range are clearly levels of interest for somebody somewhere. Here was one I traded. And I love that, like I said, that opening range. You get your poke down, your consolidation, and then a retest and a go. So here's your signal right in this bar. You get your close below, you get a pull up, and then you get your re-break. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a little low. Like here's probably half. You're definitely getting into no trade zone here. Yeah, that was a tricky one. I think I actually entered when it started coming back down below. I don't remember exactly, but this was a tricky one. It didn't give you a perfect entry, but fairly good. Here's a good one. Let's check this one out. All right. So here's your signal on this outside bar. Right there, you get your signal. Closes, pokes, touches the VWAP. Get your entry here. Again, it's a little high. Once you honestly, well, we'll stick to what I'm saying here. You get your entry, and then you just follow it up I don't think any of these made lower. No. So anyways, that's what I'm looking for. If you have any questions, I have a Discord room that is free and will always remain free. This is the third time I've recorded this because YouTube would not take a bunch of the screen recording formats as files that they can upload. I think I've covered everything I wanted to. And like I said, if you have any questions, join the Discord, ask questions. I trade the strat, learned a lot from Sarah, Jermaine, Rob, lots of other people on Twitter. All right, that's it. Give me a follow on Twitter, DJ URESKEE, and join the Discord. Ask some questions if you find some interest in this. Have a good one, guys.